Very quickly, before I take it to Kingsley Moralo in Abuja studio, you say you will make minimum wage 100,000 naira.
That's right.
Government is still finding it difficult to decide whether it will be 24 or 25.
Because government's priority is not to pay workers, it's to pay themselves. Do you know how much a senator earns? A senator earns a salary of 2,076 Nigerian workers, because an average Nigerian worker is collecting $38 per month.
An
average Nigerian senator is taking home 540 million naira.
To take the money from the politicians?
No. Okay. We will definitely not be paying them in legal wages, because a senator is not entitled to 13.7 million naira as as allowance. But the truth is that you have enough in this country to serve everybody.
I hope you know that you will need the backing of the National Assembly.
We will need the backing of the National Assembly, but we most importantly need the backing of the Nigerian people to do any project, because the National Assembly does not or will not own Nigeria or Nigerians. Nigerians own the National Assembly, and that is the reason why it is important that we start paying attention to our workers. There's nobody in the world that can live on 18,000 naira wage per month. Nobody. But we are doing that disservice to ourselves, and we are defending it, by claiming that where will you get the money from? The question is that there is money, there's enough money in this country. Let me give you one example. The Minister of Petroleum Resources, State Minister for Petroleum Resources, Kachuku, revealed on national TV that he lost $60 billion to not taking royalties for certain oil companies that have been around in the business for 10 years because of a lacuna or a loophole in a law. And what we are proposing to pay workers is just $1.5 billion every year if we do it for 100,000.
Kingsley Moralo,
if you deduct that from 60 billion, everybody is still doing very well. But you have incompetent leaders, you have people with no capacity, you have people with no innovative ideas. You can't move this country anywhere.
Let's take it to Kingsley Moralo. Kingsley Moralo, is 100,000 naira what the Nigerian worker deserves? If you're president, is that what you'll give them, or would you take it higher or even lower?
I understand economics, and I understand how to fight poverty without creating inflation, which, of course, will work against the poor and the workers. Now, the minimum wage is something that we should not take a populist approach to it. We should improve the minimum wage. A minimum wage of 18,000 naira is absolute nonsense. Nigerian workers are getting ripped off, and it's increasingly hard for them to manage their lives. But as to whether we should pay them 100,000 naira or not, I would subject that to a proper study so that our decision is informed and sustainable. That would be my approach, not just to come and make promises that are not backed up by research, just so that I would be popular. This is what creates problems in economies, and that's what's creating a problem in the economy today. The government of President Muhammadu Buhari set up a 500 billion naira social intervention fund that is just recycling poverty. I don't see anybody getting their 5,000 naira a month. I don't see what productivity is being generated from that fund. That's why I'm going to turn it into the 500 billion naira contribution to the 1 trillion naira venture capital fund, and the private sector will bring the remaining 500 billion. So the way we think about economics is to create wealth, not to recycle poverty. And while we work to improve the welfare of Nigerian workers, it's important that we do it in a way that is measured, well-researched, and well thought through, and not knee-jerk. So we should increase the minimum wage, but I wouldn't tell you that the minimum wage should be 1,000 naira or any particular figure at this time.
And I want to jump in here. And Kingsley is known to be a researcher. If Kingsley hasn't researched by now what minimum wage should be, it shows that Kingsley is not prepared to lead Nigeria. We have done our research. It's out there on the internet. You can find how we intend to pay for it.
Absolute nonsense.
I like Kingsley, but I'm surprised that Kingsley is not, at this time, understanding what he needs to pay workers after having admitted that 18,000 naira is rubbish.
You can make
then he goes on
promises.
to say that
That's fine.
he
You.
already
Speak
knows
for
what he
yourself.
wants to invest in the capital market. He knows what he wants to give to entrepreneurs.
It's all right,
He doesn't
gentlemen.
know what
Have
he
you-
wants to pay workers. Kingsley, I'm surprised, but I'll see you in Lagos when you get here. We should
Kingsley,
talk
have
about
you
that.
mulled it? Have you done your research? I mean, what you're saying is that you have not prepared as far as the issue of minimum wage is concerned. You were going to say something about that. Go ahead.
Well, I don't think that myself and Omoyele Sowore can get into a contest about who understands economic management of Nigeria.
No, it's not true, Kingsley. It's not true.
The point is this.
It's not true. I find that very degrading. I find that very degrading.
There's no need.
I find that very degrading that you are talking about the economics as if there's a difference between the economics of World Bank, Kingsley, and the economics that put people out of poverty. The World Bank economics, you understand, is the one that put us in poverty. The one of the Washington Consensus, Kingsley. There's nothing you want to show me. We all lived in America. We know how workers are faring over there. Don't come and tell me that we can't get into an economics contest. Why not?
Just the fact of the matter.
What makes you better than me economically?
That I did not know.
You
made a statement that I don't know what to do about the minimum wage.
Because I expect you by now. Look, Kingsley,
Kingsley,
this is the same thing we argue about Buhari, that he was never prepared to be president. Kingsley, we have 128 days.
I'm far more prepared
and you don't know what you want to pay workers.
I'm worried about that.
I'm worried about. You know, I think you're qualified, but I think I'm better qualified because I'm better prepared at this time as to what to pay workers. You don't know it.
Okay, so
but
Kingsley,
you already know
what are the
you want
things
to pay the guys who are in the entrepreneurial world?
Okay.
People who we have always been subsidizing, you know, the rich people, but you don't know what to pay the workers who are making this country work. I'm surprised.
Sowore,
Professor.
Sowore, please let me say very clearly that cheap popularity will not help the Nigerian economy.
It's not cheap popularity, but
so that's what you're doing. You're being populist.
And unprepared
you
candidates.
Are being populist.
An unprepared candidate
you
who doesn't know what
understand the economics.
Pay
okay,
gentlemen.
So that you can be popular.
Gentlemen,
it's not going to help the Nigerian
I need us to be a bit presidential right now.
Yes, and I guess it's the energy of youth and the passion really to drive, to move forward. That is what is driving this. Gentlemen,
this is going to have a presidential debate. So
absolutely, and the debate has already started.
They're not doing debates between. Don't hide your candidates.
It's all right.
When we want to do the debates.
Kingsley Moghalu is the presidential candidate of Young Progressive Party (YPP). Thank you for joining us and sharing your thoughts from Abuja.
Sowore, presidential candidate, African Action Congress (AAC). Thank you so much, gentlemen, for